What if your financial reality isn't determined by your income, your background, or even your current circumstances? What if it's shaped by one thing and one thing only, and that's your mindset? Scarcity or abundance isn't about money in and of itself. It's really about the story you believe and the energy and the frequency that you hold around money. I'm Jeff, and today we're diving deep into how to reprogram your money mindset, moving from scarcity to abundance. We'll do this by aligning your thoughts, your actions, and your emotions with a consciousness that's more oriented towards wealth. And we'll do this really by recognizing scarcity programming, because scarcity isn't the reality. It is just a program. And it's a program that's often installed through our upbringing, societal norms, or even past experiences around money. So common scarcity beliefs include things like money is difficult to earn, or got to work hard to make enough money. There's never enough money. I don't deserve wealth. The prism of the aeons reminds us that what we hold internally echoes into our reality. This is temporal resonance in action. And the first step to reprogramming is having awareness around the programs that we have, identifying the limiting money beliefs that we carry. The first step is when we have this awareness, when we can identify and recognize these things, start writing them down. Notice where they show up in our daily thoughts, our daily dialogue with ourselves in our head, and in our own behavior. And we can ask ourselves, like, what's the earliest memory that we have about money, and how might that memory be influencing our current beliefs? A key takeaway to think about really is that scarcity is often an unconscious program. The awareness that we have disrupts it, and identifying the patterns allow us to consciously choose our new beliefs by stopping the old belief in its tracks and repatterning our mind to a more wealth-oriented consciousness. So we have the ability to rewire our brain for abundance. This is neuroscience, and it shows that the brain has neuroplasticity, meaning it can change and rewire through repetition and emotion. To reprogram for abundance and create new money beliefs that feel expansive, we just have to, again, identify and stop those old beliefs in their tracks and reprogram. Think with things like money flows easily to me, or I am worthy of abundance, to stop those old patterns from continuing. In this process, visualization is really key. We can picture ourselves living in abundance, not just seeing it, but feeling it. It's not about just hoping or wanting. It's about feeling that it's already our reality. Engaging emotions allow us to amplify the neural pathways that are going to allow us to reprogram our brain. We can also use affirmations, not just saying them. Again, adding that feeling. The feeling is the secret, as Neville Goddard says. Embodying the frequency of what we want to see brought forth. In this case, the frequency of abundance, as if it's already true. The more emotion we attach to it, the faster the belief takes root. The faster we're able to reprogram those old beliefs in our mind. The prism of the aeons principle of harmonic convergence teaches us that when belief, emotion, and action align, results manifest even faster. So we can ask ourselves, what new belief about money can I practice today and every day on a daily basis, and how can I feel it so deeply that it affirms its pattern in my being? Your brain learns through repetition and emotion. So feel the abundance now in your body, and your brain will begin to shape the reality to match that. So we can align action with abundance as well, because if we just think these things and don't take action, we're probably not going to get far enough down the road to reprogram our brain and really see any results from it. Action is really key. Thoughts alone are not enough. And aligned action takes the kind of frequency where we act as if wealth is already flowing. And when we have that feeling, then we can amplify that frequency. So that doesn't mean just like going out and spending a bunch of money on your credit card or borrowing money, but taking actions that reflect trust in abundance. It could be investing in growth, making investments with your money, saving with more intention, or offering generously. So I do this in practice when sometimes if I'm on the street and somebody, a homeless person asks me for money, I'll just give it to them because I want to anchor in that I am so abundant that I can help this person. If there's a way that I can prove to myself, taking myself out to a nice dinner, it doesn't have to be extravagant, but it's like, yes, I can afford that. I deserve that. This is the lifestyle I lead. Another Aeonic principle is symbiotic transformation. And symbiotic transformation really reminds us that transformation is adaptive. So as we align our energy, our actions will naturally shift. And that will shift our outcomes because we're more oriented in that direction. So we can ask ourselves, like, how would I act if I truly believed abundance was my natural state of being? And then keep taking those small steps and actions from that place along the way. Because taking those actions is going to create momentum towards making that a reality. The universe responds to clear signals that we put out. We are the frequency of abundance. When we exude and exhibit the frequency of abundance, the universe will respond to that. So when you act from abundance, you invite more of it in. A great question to ask is like, what is one aligned action that I can take today that reflects the abundance thinking that we're talking about? Because abundance grows through aligned actions. Think it, feel it, and act on it. This is how new realities take form. This is how we release the resistance to having the money and to receiving the money and to embrace the flow of what it takes to create abundance in our lives. Because resistance blocks abundance. It shows up often as fear, doubt, or hesitation. This is the scarcity mindset brings up these fears and doubts and hesitations in our emotional body, and that's what holds us back from releasing it and being able to move into the frequency of abundance. So to release it, ask yourself, what am I afraid will happen if I fully embrace abundance? See what comes up for you, because often the fears that we have that are created by scarcity are often just outdated stories that really don't have any power or shouldn't have any real power over us. So by releasing those old beliefs, we can start to flow, embrace flow, and trust that flow, and trust that the universe is supporting our expansion and our transition into the higher level states of being that we want to attract in our lives. So we can let go of the need to control every single outcome. This will also create abundance because trust is the highest frequency for alignment to abundance. Now, the prism of the aeons teaches that reality is fluid, and when you release this resistance, you align with the natural state of expansion. And a great question to ask about this is, where am I holding on to fear? Where am I holding on to control? And how can I surrender it to allow more flow in my life? Because abundance requires surrender. It requires trust. And trust and surrender requires you to release fear and to embrace that trust and to watch how reality opens up to meet you in response. So your money mindset isn't fixed. It's just a program that can be rewritten with conscious intention. You start with awareness, you follow that up with emotional alignment, you take conscious action, you release resistance, and that's how you move from scarcity to abundance. So identify old scarcity patterns and question them. Rewire the new beliefs that you want to see for yourself by visualization and emotion, adding emotion to that visualization, aligning your actions with the frequency of abundance, and releasing the resistance and trust the flow of life. Abundance isn't something to chase, it's something to align with. If this resonates with you, stay connected, like, comment, subscribe, share your thoughts in the comments, and let's continue this journey of conscious creation to realize our infinite potential. You are not just part of the shift, you are the shift. So let's lead it and shape it together.